Off we go with week 8 of On Top the Cage.
I can't believe it's 8.
Week 8, yeah. We're on. Unseasonably warm in our little slice of the planet here in Northeast Ohio.
72 degrees when I drove over here.
We had a couple more days left of it too. Things kind of changed Saturday, and then next week, Dan, I'll probably look completely different on set.
I won't.
You might be wearing a jacket and a hat. We'll see. The weather does change, though. But yeah, no, it's been beautiful up here, and it's peak leaf changing, leaf color changing season. It's gorgeous right now. So that's all happening.
I can't believe how many leaves are still on the tree for what time of the year it is.
They are. You can't see the backyard right now, or you can't see the grass in the backyard right now because it's covered with leaves. I'm going to address that tomorrow, but today is show night. So anyway, it is trick or treat week as well in our little area here. 6 to 8 on Saturday?
Yeah, I checked today. 6 to 8.
Are you prepared?
Yes, I am.
You got your candy?
Yeah, I went to Sam's Club and bought some big bags of stuff, and I'm done.
You got enough, you think? We never have enough.
I'll hand it out, and when it's gone, it's gone.
Lights turn off?
Well, no. The garage will still be open. I just got to say, you want beer?
Right. That's exactly what kind of happens here, too. We bought over 200 candy bars this year.
Big size.
Yeah, full size.
Holy hell.
Everybody knows the story. I get tasked with handing out the candy, and I don't like making decisions, whether or not the kid gets 3 or 2 or 1 or 4 or whatever the fuck it is. I don't like decision making in regards to that. So, yes.
If you're handing out full size, you get 1.
Yes, absolutely. There's no decision making. Yes. Yeah. If I don't like your costume, you get a fucking 3 Musketeers.
Well, I dump the shit in this big bucket that we have, and I give out handfuls, and when it's gone, it's gone.
See, decision making. Decision making.
It's not a decision.
Anyway,
the decision is, do I know you? Do you live in this neighborhood?
Yeah, but meanwhile,
and you have to say trick or treat.
Yeah.
If you don't say trick or treat, I'll stand there like a dumbass.
Well, my wife's the same way. She's big on manners when it comes to trick or treaters, for sure. So. And she used to go around with the kids, and we don't have trick-or-treaters anymore. I think Ethan actually May's a sophomore in high school. But I have no problems with that. I think they're going as this McDonald's crew. One of his friends works at a local McDonald's and has, obviously, the uniform. But somebody's going as Ronald and Grimace, and I think he's going to be the burglar. I think is what their whole shtick
He watch out. He might get arrested.
As a burglar? As a hamburglar. That's right. Have you carved any pumpkins yet?
No, I don't even have pumpkins yet. I just made that comment the other day. We have no pumpkins at our house. I gotta go find pumpkins.
Oh man,
I've none.
We have small ones, but we have a couple of big ones. Yeah, that's gonna happen tomorrow. Like during when I watch Thursday Night Football, I think that's gonna happen out here. You got any go-to carvings that you do?
I got all kinds of stencils that we've bought over the years and stuff the kids do, but nothing. I mean, I'm not going to do anything crazy this year because I just don't feel like it.
All right, fine. I used to do a Chicago Bears C. It's easy. It's not hard. Or sometimes I just do the football stitches. If I get one of those elongated pumpkins, it kind of looks like a football. Stitches are easy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not trying to get too crazy or too crafty in regards to it. So. But yeah, we're ready for that. I know Dan, you had a big weekend at OU, and we had a weekend here with Tom and his wife Pat. We're up here, but we're always thirsty, right? Let's do our beer review.
Let's do it.
All right.
Shipyard Brewing Company from Portland, Maine, and it says Smashed Pumpkin. Good can presentation. Maybe I'll save that and do that as my pumpkin this year.
There you go. Use a stencil.
Yeah. I don't think I need
another famous company from Portland, Maine, Dan. You know what that famous company would be?
No.
The LL Bean Company. I'm fond of their products.
All right.
Dan.
Do you like LL Bean?
Dan, last week, let me know. He's not a fan of any coffee-infused drinks. And I looked long and hard for a beer this week that said 0 about coffee in it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it, Dan, until...
This being bodied beer pours light copper, orange. Okay, that's pretty accurate. With pleasing aromas of pumpkin, cinnamon, and burnt sugar. Balanced with mild lingering sweetness and slightly warm, bitter finish, Smashed Pumpkin is the perfect beer for when the temperature starts to drop. To fully enjoy all the flavors, this ale is best drunk at 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Ain't no way I'm drinking it at 55 friggin' degrees.
Maybe it just means the temperature outside.
Well,
it's warm here.
It's
Alexa.
warm, yeah.
Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 67 degrees Fahrenheit.
67.
We're 12 above peak beer drinking.
By the way, I can wake you up in the morning anytime you want. Just say, Alexa, set an alarm.
Well, wake me up on Friday.
Oh, fucking Christ. All right, stop that. Anyway, Dan, you were right.
Hold on, I gotta taste it.
All right, I haven't done it either. It's different.
You taste like you taste the pumpkin in it.
Yeah, I feel like
that tastes more. That.
Oh, you can taste pumpkin, yeah, for sure.
It's like eating pumpkin pie. And, alcohol in this baby's 9%.
Ooh, wheelhouse or above. But Dan, you were right. All these pumpkin flavored beers, they have some sort of coffee infusion mix bullshit. And Dan doesn't like coffee, and I learned that last week. I probably knew that, but he made it well known last week that he doesn't like any taste of coffee in his beers, and he's right. Almost all of them have some sort of coffee infusion. I looked at like 6 different like October pumpkin beers, and this was the only one that didn't have any coffee infusion in it.
It's good.
Dan likes it. Good.
I do like this.
I like it too. 9%. That's stiff.
Yeah, I'm only having one of these babies.
All right, I'm gonna briefly, because I think Dan might probably have stories from OU. Dan went to see his son at OU over the weekend, but we had Tom and Pat here. They came up. Tom is Katie's father and Pat's his wife. But they came up here. They got up here Saturday, like 6:30, and they were coming up here really not only to see us.
They drove or flew?
Flew. They rented a car. They get here like 6:30 or so, but they had the Bob Dylan concert, right?
Oh, yeah.
On Saturday. Well done.
Yeah.
Dan. Well done. But so they were here for like 30 minutes. We fed them something, whatever we had in the house, and they took off for the Dylan concert.
Wait, did they drive themselves?
Yeah. Akron Civic Theater. Have you been to Akron Civic Theater?
The Civic or the Goodyear? Civic?
Akron,
yeah, I've been there. Civic, yeah.
I told them before they went, and Pat's a big fan of this stuff. I'm like, architectural jewel though,
super
cool
sweet
inside,
in there.
Super cool. But
the staircase going up, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, there's all kinds of cool.
My sister, when she was little, used to do that dance shit. So her dance recital was there, and we always had to go. I'm the oldest. My sister's the youngest, so I didn't mind because there was a bar.
There is a bar, yes. They serve alcohol
in the
there
lobby.
for sure. Yeah, that was one of Tom's first questions. There's gonna be alcohol up in there?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. But they had a great time. I didn't think they were, but anyway, although little mishap happened. Tom didn't realize that he was looking at the wrong guy the whole time, thinking he was Bob Dylan. He was looking at the guitarist, and I think Dylan was like behind the piano a large portion of the program or something, or the concert or whatever it was. Anyway, Tom had the wrong guy he was looking at the whole time.
Yeah, whatever.
But whatever.
They sounded the same.
Right, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a good time. So, but Dan left. Dan and I were chatting back and forth. Dan, high school football commands here in the last week of the regular season. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on sports-wise, this week and things like that. But you were leaving out early on Saturday to go see your son Tyler?
We left to go down to OU, noon kickoff against
Athens, Ohio.
Western Michigan, but
Central?
Or no, Western is the brown and yellow team.
Yeah, I think it was Central. The Chippewas, maybe?
I can't remember.
I looked at your score. They won.
Oh, yeah, it was a good game. We left, went down there, noon kickoff, so I was like, ugh. It was to be announced when we got the tickets the whole time, to be announced, and then they were like, noon. So we're like, oh, great.
What's wrong with the noon?
Nothing. It was fine. We got down there, got to his place. The drive down, once we got out of Northeast Ohio, got a little further south, the sun was out. Nice trip. The freaking colors driving down there are unbelievable.
Yeah, southern, southwest Ohio, southeast Ohio, yeah, for sure.
Unbelievable. Got down there. Of course, I had a cooler. We tailgated.
What was in that cooler?
Bud Light.
Anything else?
Spa Girls. My wife likes those.
What'd you say?
Spa Girls.
The fuck's that?
They're little like vodka drinks. They're like 11%.
Spa.
Spa.
As in like
S-P-A. Girl.
Okay.
They're fantastic.
Do you have one of those?
Hell no, I didn't have one of them. Watched the beginning of the Ohio State game, then walked over. It's probably a 10-minute walk from where he's at, 15 maybe. And the Pendon Stadium where OU plays, the one end zone where they serve all the beer, they have these picnic tables, big high top 4-seater. That's where we stayed. We didn't even go to the seats.
Shocker.
Yeah, stay right by the beer. The best thing about the stadium, they got the old trough urinals.
Ooh,
no
nice,
lines, baby.
Nice.
Just go in and pee in the thing and fucking walk out.
I'd start immediately looking back here if I could put one of those in.
Trough.
Probably wouldn't go over well with my wife.
Because I had to tell a story about Old Fawcett Stadium before they did all the NFL renovations. The wall was tiled. You just peed on the wall.
Yeah.
And walked. You're done.
Oh my God. Troughs are way better, man. You can fit them in. I don't care.
Yeah.
Dick to dick. I don't know.
Got these freaking one-stall urinal things. That's why the lines are so damn long. But the weather was so freaking nice down there. I mean, it was hot. Little, the clouds were there that it might rain, but man, I had shorts on and just a pullover. I took my rain jacket off because it was so hot. I actually wish I had some sunscreen.
The weather looked a little dicey midweek, and I was watching it not only for Dan, I was watching it for my kids who are Ohio State students, and obviously the college football eyes were kind of on Columbus last week with the Ohio State-Penn State game. They were raring to go. They woke up early. They were at game day at like 6:37. They got the hard hats. They got the hard hats and gloves and maybe donuts. I don't know. But they had a great time. So the weather cleared, kind of for the most part on the weekend, which it looked a little dicey, when Dan and I were shooting the show last Wednesday. I don't know if we mentioned it or not. So, but anyway, so you had a good weekend.
Yeah, good weekend. After the game, went back, checked into the OU Inn. Fantastic place. Never been able to stay there because it's a pain in the ass to try and book something down there.
The OU Inn.
OU Inn. Nice.
Better than the Ramada Inn?
Place. Oh, it was nice.
Nice?
Yeah.
All
right. There was a visiting college team there, and I think it was a girls' soccer team because Sunday there was a game at the soccer stadium. And I wonder if the team from Michigan stayed there the night before.
There's not a whole lot of options in Athens. It's a straight college town.
We've stayed in a cabin out in the middle of freaking nowhere, which is about 15 minutes away, which I don't mind doing that.
That's fun. That's always fun.
But we were, right on campus. Went out to eat. Freaking Tyler and two of his friends. We went out to eat.
Wait, I saw a picture of a beer bong happening.
Oh, that was back after we went out to eat. We went back to Tyler's place. Actually, Tyler's friend, from where Tyler lives to where the bar we were going, it probably would have been 15, 20 minutes. My ass is fat, if you haven't noticed from watching the show. And for me going, I'd have made it, but, it was nice that his friend was there because she lives by the place. So she drove us. We all piled in her car. She drove us over, went, ate, drank, blah, 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 blah. It was like, man, it'd be awesome if you could take us back. So she ended up taking us back and stopping so we could buy more beer.
Built-in Uber driver.
Yeah, and then hung out, and that's when they were shooting the
bong. Did you get underneath that bong, Dan?
Hell no.
No? Oh, shit.
No, I needed to drive from the place back to the hotel. I was not doing the beer bong. And thank God, because Brennan's sick.
It's right.
My son's roommate's sick.
Yikes.
I'm waiting for, he's got 103-degree temperature. He's in urgent care right now.
Dan's checking health issues right now.
He tested negative for COVID, so that's good.
We all survived the weekend, I guess, just barely.
Well, the drive home for the second half. We stayed for the first half of the Browns game. Then I got in Sirius XM, radio. Coming home, I'm stuck listening to the freaking Indy broadcast.
We'll get to your game in a second. We got a lot to talk about in that game. Speaking of sports, welcome back to the National Basketball Association. Dan's not a fan, but it's good to have that back. The MLS playoffs start. High school playoffs, which is Dan's got to be in heaven this Friday. That all comes back. Dan usually does his high school command center on Fridays, and I know he did last Friday as well. last game of the regular season. Teams get in, teams don't make it in, type of thing.
Everybody makes it in anymore.
It seems that way. I actually, there was nothing on besides the Major League Baseball playoffs. I tell you what, Dan, I don't watch baseball. Shit did not disappoint. I'm watching the end of the first game. There was a fucking fight. Like, the dude hit a home run, did like some dance, pissed off the other team, gets hit. Like, that shit happened. And then in the second game, the Arizona game, some dude hit a fucking home run into a fucking pool beyond the right field wall. And then two fat guys dove into the pool to get the ball.
Jeez.
I'm like, how deep can that pool be? Is that guy going to come up? Type of thing. Like, I'm like, is he going to be paralyzed?
He's going to come up, yeah.
So, I don't know. So the baseball didn't disappoint. I don't watch hardly any of it. So.
Any playoff baseball.
Anyway.
I don't even know who the hell. Do we have World Series teams yet?
We do. They were declared last night, and I don't know if anybody's going to watch. It's the Texas Rangers, who very well may have been a wild card team, and the Arizona Diamondbacks, who 100% were a wild card team,
I have no
got in. Arizona last night won a Game 7 in Philadelphia. So anyway, I'm not a big fan of that shit. We'll see what happens, and we're turning the page. We ready to talk about football?
Yeah.
All right, last week, man, I tell you what, last week was tough. I mean, I saw some stuff on the local website, not local websites, the national websites, ESPN, CBS Sports, Vegas touting their best week of the season, rightfully so. I mean, they won huge. There were a ton of dogs. People like to bet the favorites that won. And then Monday night happened where everybody starts chasing their money. And I was one of the people who was chasing my money from Sunday's results with the San Francisco 49ers. They were minus 6.5, 7 points. They lost outright to Minnesota. But anyway, Dan survived, kind of. Dan went 6-7. Not too bad. Pretty good, frankly, for that week. Dan's 57-48-1 on the season. He did lose his elephant pick. He picked the Miami Dolphins. He's 3-4. He's sub 500 on the season for his elephant picks. I went 4-9, a tick below Dan. I'm 55-50-1 on the season, 5+. I lost my elephant pick as well with Tampa Bay. I don't know what happened. We'll talk about those teams. I'm 4-3 on the season. So, with that being said, trade deadline comes up before we shoot our next show. I'm expecting a flurry of trades. We'll see. I mean, there always some wild shit happens. There used to be nothing that happened at the trade deadline, but now there's usually quite a flurry. So we'll see what happens. But other than that, I think we're on to football.
This is the first year that the trade deadline is pushed back, if I'm correct.
I don't know if it was pushed or not, but it ends October 31st.
Trick or treat, baby.
So, and that is Tuesday, because I know the next show that we have is in November. It'll be November 1st. I don't know if you're going to see a set change out here or not.
The Christmas tree's going to be up.
Maybe.
Get the hell out
Maybe.
of here.
That's a lot to do from Saturday, because obviously Saturday's trick or treat here, and that's still, fall on Halloween. That's a quick flip to Tuesday. But meanwhile, our youngest dog and biggest dog, Oakley, he's ready for the holiday season. He's ready for the calendar to flip to November. He opened up 2 fucking packages this week. So he's ready for the holiday season.
What do you mean 2 packages?
Like Amazon fucking packages that show up on the front step, and then sometimes he decides he's gonna fucking open them.
What's in there?
Well, the first one was like some bullshit for the kitchen. Katie ordered shit right in line. But anyway, my wife. And one was like a kitchen thing, like that these mats. He's like rubber mats, like that, so you don't put hot dishes down. But the other one was a fire stick, I think. I don't know if Oakley thought it said chew stick. I don't fucking know.
Look at that spider blowing in the wind. You see that?
'Tis the season, baby. 'Tis the season. Anyway, we are on to football. I don't think I missed anything. Thursday Night Football starts with Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to play the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are 8.5-point favorites in this game. Tampa Bay enters the game at an even record of 3-3. The Buffalo Bills are 4-3. Tampa Bay, they come off of their home loss against Atlanta. They were my elephant pick. They performed poorly, specifically Baker Mayfield performed poorly.
You knew that was going to happen. He's going to have games like that.
I suppose. I mean, they've lost 2 straight now, Tampa Bay. And their offense is kind of letting their defense down. The defense still plays pretty well. And then Buffalo. Let's talk about what happened with Buffalo. A loss in New England.
Shocked. Yeah.
New England. I mean, it didn't used to be that way, but New England's a horrible football team.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
A team
awful.
Completely void of any form of offense and playmakers.
Yeah, none.
And they gave up 29 points to that football team in Foxborough. Like, it was crazy because New England had control of the game the whole time. Buffalo fights back, gets a touchdown just at the 2-minute warning. And then New England went right down the field. They got a touchdown. They won the football game. Like, very resilient of them. Mac Jones played well for New England, but they're not on the board right now. I don't know with the Buffalo defense if they have a lot of injuries on defense. If it's like crippling the defense, what's the problem? I mean, they lost Tre'Davious White, their best cornerback. Matt Milano, a linebacker. I think they have other injuries on the actual defensive end position.
Well, look, the head coach is now not the head coach. He's the defensive coordinator. So
Sean McDermott?
Is that yeah? Because they mysteriously got
rid of Leslie Frazier. Right, that's right.
And then you got Ken Dorsey. So I think there's a disconnect. He's not running the entire ship, and it shows.
I mean, this is the biggest like Jekyll and Hyde team we've seen. Like the first couple weeks, they look like shit. Then like the next couple of weeks, hey, Buffalo's back. They're that contender in the AFC. And now the last couple of weeks, they've looked like shit again. I mean, how do you pick this?
Well, and this is going back when Baker Mayfield was making commercials. People were like, "Oh, he's making too many commercials. Wasn't he focusing on football?"
Josh Allen?
You know how many commercials Josh Allen is in? Why isn't he focusing on football?
Yeah.
Well, but that's why Baker Mayfield.
What commercial is he in? Do you know what off the?
He's in a shit ton.
Yeah, I saw him before. I don't know what it is. Do you remember one?
Herbert.
Do you remember the brand or whatever they were advertising?
No, I don't remember. NFL guys selling me shit. I don't care. I ain't going to Subway because some jackass on the NFL eats there or advertises.
All right, let's rank some shit here.
Jimmy John's.
Oh, fuck yeah, I love Jimmy. All right, and we locally, right here on our street, just above our street, connects Dan's neighbor to my neighborhood to an extent.
Subway, Jimmy John's, Jersey Mike's.
Yes, sir. Let's rank those three.
And I'm sure you could put in any one of these.
There was a Quiznos and bullshit, but whatever. Anyway.
Jimmy John's.
Yeah, me too. They're one for me, and then obviously my wife loves Jersey Mike's. The Chipotle chicken one she loves. I mean, it's not exactly healthy for you, but it's a little bit of a treat every once in a while. But I like the bread.
Jimmy John's.
At Jimmy John's, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're a Jimmy John's bread fan, I'm telling you, go buy the day-old bread. I do it almost every Sunday. Loaves of bread. Don't get me wrong, they're only going to last for another day or two. But with that being said, if you're cooking something on Sunday or whatever.
Soup. Pasta.
Yeah. Oh my God! Yes, I did it again this week. It's 50 cents a loaf. I mean, and the loaves that they give you decent size, right? You probably pay $2.50 at any local grocery store.
Oh bullshit! You're gonna pay $5.
Dan's even more. Yeah, Dan's even above it. So wow. I don't know why we're talking about that, but we ranked our hierarchy of sub sandwich shops. Buffalo minus 8.5 in this game. I'll take the lead if you don't want to, Dan. I'm taking the points with the Buccaneers. I know it's risky. But listen, this fucking Buffalo team, I don't know what to think of them.
I don't either. But 8.5, that's what I was like. Buffalo will probably win this game, but I don't think it's by 8.5.
I think it's the safer of the. It's not safe. I mean, they could get blown the fuck out, and I think we both know that. But I mean,
especially because Buffalo just lost to a team that should be inferior.
And the week before, they lost over in London, and they looked like shit against Jacksonville. Not that Jacksonville was the bad team, and this is. Tampa Bay's not as good a team as Jacksonville, certainly, but they haven't looked good for 2 weeks. I'm buying the backdoor touchdown with the Buccaneers. Dan and I are both on the Bucks. We're on to Sunday, 1 p.m. Next week, we have morning games again that start, I think, 2 weeks in a row out of Germany, but that's not this week. Sunday, 1 p.m. slate starts with Houston traveling to Carolina, and this is the battle of the first-round quarterbacks, right?
Oh, dude.
They went 1-2.
Yeah.
1-2.
Hey.
Bryce Young for Carolina went 1.
Both
CJ
coming off a bye.
They are. Both well rested. Steady. Anyway, Houston has been installed as a 3-point favorite in this game in Carolina. Houston's 3-3. The Carolina Panthers are winless on the season. They're 0-6.
I'm worried about this Frank Reich owner dynamic.
They want to talk about the home team first, Carolina, and that's just fine. Over the bye week, Frank Reich gave up play calling to
and he meets with David
offensive staff
every
member.
Week.
David Tepper. How did he come to wealth? Do you know what his wealth is, or where he came from? I don't know either. I don't know that.
But he owns that, and he owns the soccer team too.
the
MLS team.
And they're playing right now in the play-in game for the Eastern Conference against, I want to say, the New York Red Bulls. Dave, do you know that?
I believe it is the Red Bulls.
I'm not afraid to make the show long. Alexa,
it's the Red Bulls.
Why is David Tepper wealthy?
From franchisesports.co.uk. David Tepper is worth close to $20 billion because he's the founder and president of a global hedge fund called Appaloosa Management.
Fucking hedge fund manager, motherfucker. Anyway, I don't know, man. Scamming people, I don't know. Houston, there are -3 in this game in Carolina. Stroud certainly looks the better of the two quarterbacks, right?
Absolutely.
He's played really well this season. I tell you what, and I mentioned game day earlier where my two sons who go to Ohio State were at. C.J. Stroud was the guest picker on College Game Day, the show that shows in front of the football games.
Everybody knows what that is.
Maybe. Sorry if I'm repetitive, but he was wildly impressive to me. I know Dan didn't see it. Dan was traveling at the time. He was wildly impressive. He was intelligent. He was well-spoken. All that. I was terribly impressed by C.J. Stroud. But anyway, Dan mentioned it. I mean, Carolina's offensive line problems. I don't know. I mean, this is certainly a winnable game by Carolina.
Houston.
-3.
Yeah. He got something to prove.
I'm worried about this game, and here's the thing. My Chicago football team owns Carolina's first-round pick.
Your Chicago football team does own the Bears.
They do. Got both of them right then. And they also own the Carolina Panthers' #1 pick in this draft. So I'm hoping they lose. It's with heart. I'm not personally putting my money on the line on this game. But I'm also going to take the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
-3 in this game.
Fucking 90% beer is getting to you already.
It's not that. I know why I tripped. And it's because of the Houston Oilers that's going to come up on the board here later. In any event, I bet you don't know about it. But 1 p.m. slate continues with the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Dallas. This was a Super Bowl a long time ago, man. Vince Ferragamo and like Danny White and shit quarterbacking. But Dallas is 6.5-point favorites in this game. The Rams coming to the game 3-4. Cowboys come 4-2. The Rams come off of their loss at home against Pittsburgh. I have a feeling Dan's going to have something to say about this game.
Hopefully I don't get to watch it, but this line is insane to me.
That's fine. I'm going to trigger Dan for a second here. I mean, the Rams lost a very close game against the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. They always compete. And if you ask me, the officials stole their opportunity.
Oh, my God, because of the first freaking down.
There's your trigger.
Holy shit. That's bull.
Well,
I know they didn't have any timeouts to throw the challenge flag, but they weren't even close on the first down. I don't know what that guy on the side was looking at. I mean, that's complete freaking bullshit. He was clearly down.
All right, 1,000% agree with Dan. Let me set the stage for this. Dan would travel back, and this was a 4 p.m. game, and this happened late. So Dan just got back in town, just started kind of turning the TV on in his garage or whatever the situation is, and watching football. And we were texting at that point in time, and then you text me like, "Did you see this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw it." And then you said something else. And I'm like, I turned it off because it was clearly I flipped back to the other game because I knew that they were short of the first down.
Short by a mile. It wasn't even close.
No, it wasn't anywhere close. It was
after
ridiculous.
The push and the falling forward shit, he still wasn't close.
It wasn't 6 inches. It was like a half a yard, Dan.
Yeah,
it was so bad. And this is going to chap Dan's ass, but we're not talking about it quite yet. I feel like it was, hey, AFC North week for the officials, but we'll get into that a little bit.
It's not chapping my ass because that play was the result of that play was because of what that quarterback did. He did not get the first down.
No, it wasn't close. That's
fine. So the other shit you're going to bring up is the result of the other team cheating and making penalties.
We'll save it for the Browns when they come up on the board. To recap, the Dallas Cowboys are 4-2 on the season, by the way. They come up by. They're 6.5-point favorites in this game. They're rested. They're healthier. But I'm waiting for this team to show me. They haven't shown us yet that they deserve any type of accolade as being a contender in the NFC to me. They're 6.5-point favorites at home, Dan.
So their last game was the loss? Was it the beatdown from the 49ers?
Sam says, you got it. -6.5, Dan. You want to go? You want me to go?
Rams lost to the Steelers. Is that running back coming back from Notre Dame? What's
Kyron Williams? No, but they ran the ball well with their with Darrell Henderson and some other cat. I forget who it was. They still ran the ball well, but Kyron Williams not playing. Puka Nacua continues to produce like crazy.
Oh, dude, that catch, that was phenomenal.
No, he's great. He's fucking great. I don't know what the hell that is.
I'm gonna take Cowboys win this game, but it ain't gonna be by 6.5. I'm taking the Rams.
I'm going to go against Dan. I'm going to lay the wood at 6.5. It's just under a touchdown. I agree. I don't like buying a team that doesn't show me shit. I agree, Dan. But they're off by, I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard to pick the talent of that team off by against a team that's not as good as them. I'm going to lay it. It's dangerous. Next game on the board is a division battle. It's the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Green Bay. Minnesota 1-point favorites in this game. They come off well, let's do their records, which I didn't write down. I don't know why I didn't do that. Oh, I did. Minnesota's 3-4 on the season. Green Bay's 2-4. Minnesota road team comes off a monster win, short week for them. Monster win on Monday night against San Francisco. They won 2 straight now.
It was 2 straight, but again, somehow they pull shit out of their ass. That catch by that Addison kid, where he pulled it out.
Yeah, at the end of the first half was a monster play.
The pick was a monster play, but then the touchdown that he had where he pulled it out and scored it's unbelievable.
Early in the game, San Francisco, McCaffrey specifically, fumbled inside of the 10-yard line. A lot of things went wrong. With that being said, I mean, Minnesota's 3-4 now in the season. They were thought to be huge sellers at the deadline. Kirk Cousins, maybe up for sale. Danielle Hunter, their stud pass rusher, up for, purchase, in the National Football League. I don't know if they do it because Kirk Cousins played pretty well in that game. The Addison kid is coming into his own. They have a receiver there. He's kind of coming his own because Justin Jefferson is on that mini IR. I think they probably get him back in a couple of weeks. With that being said, Green Bay, they come off of a loss. They come off bye before this week when they played Denver, a really, really bad fucking football team. They went out to Denver. Dan and I both picked Denver, by the way. And they lost. Off by lose to Denver. I have lots of question marks about Jordan Love as a viable NFL quarterback.
Oh, a ton.
What's going to happen here, Dan? I have no fucking idea.
I'm going with Minnesota on this. -1. Screw it. Minnesota. Because Aaron Jones is still hurt, I saw today.
Yeah, I thought he was limited at practice. It is Wednesday. We have a little bit better reports. I thought he was limited. He may have a chance to be up on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to take the Packers. Dan and I have been together a lot the last 2 weeks. It didn't work out that well for either of us or anybody, really, across the board last week. But I'm going to take the Packers. I mean, this is obviously a toss-up game. There's no two ways about it. Who knows who wins?
I like these games.
And this is another fucking game that I have no idea about. New Orleans and Indianapolis. New Orleans travels to Indianapolis. New Orleans 3-4 on the season. Same record for the Indianapolis Colts. They're 3-4 as well. Indy is 1.5-point favorites in this game. Some traditions do not change.
I'm only having one of those.
I was going to ask you. You liked it so much. It was
good.
It wasn't.
I ain't drinking the next one.
It wasn't caramel apple surprise where the lost episode Dan went on to on the high octane beers.
Yeah.
New Orleans. There you go. Back to traditional Bud Light. That's awesome. Good. I'm glad. I tell you what.
I do like that.
Dan,
that Arche one from the lost episode because of
caramel apple surprise.
Teddy.
Yes.
That was good beer.
Dan loved it, but he didn't like it last week because it had coffee infusion or coffee tie-in, whatever it was. Dan, literally, I was in the craft beer house for like fucking 15 minutes on Sunday trying to find a Halloween pumpkin beer bullshit fucking themed beer that didn't have coffee infusion. You're right. I didn't know that. Like almost all of them have some sort of coffee mix. This one does not, and it's really good. Anyway.
I'm on Indy.
Dan's trying to make it quick. I'm making the show long. Indy's -1.5 in this game at home.
They lost.
I have some shit to say about this game.
But freaking New Orleans they're awful.
They come off their mini bye.
They're awful.
They came off their mini bye. They lost at home to Jacksonville. Their offense seems really limited. Carr's not like adapted.
He does not look good at all.
No, and he's pointing
Olave
fingers.
got arrested.
He did. Olave did get arrested. No drunk driving. No bullshit. He was driving
70-35. That's just being an idiot.
Not a very good decision. With that being said, it was harmless.
Harmless.
Thankfully, nobody got hurt, if you will, because that's double, obviously, the speed limit. But
that's just being an idiot.
There was no alcohol. There was no drugs involved. I don't think it was
And you get out when the cop, you're like, I play for the Saints. Who gives a fuck?
I don't like Derek Carr's demeanor on the sideline.
But he's not playing good.
No. So, Indianapolis, they come off of their loss at home to Dan's Cleveland Browns.
By the Browns.
You want to go through this now? Or you want to get this fucking argument over now, or you want to do it when the Cleveland Browns come up?
It don't matter.
The NFL issued an apology to the Indianapolis Colts for two blown calls.
According to Jim Irsay.
And if you're gonna,
the Browns didn't get that letter.
And if you're, I tell you what, that stuff is supposed to stay private. 100% is supposed to stay private. I mean, if there was a ranking of loudmouth owners in the National Football League, Jim Irsay is 1, and number 2 is down here. I mean, he's a loudmouth fucking owner. He was pissed about the situation. He said the NFL apologized. They said they blew both the fucking calls. It must have been.
I don't know how you say.
I don't disagree with him.
That's bullshit. How do they blow both the calls? They were both penalties. But you saw it. They're both penalties. The one on Mark Cooper's penalty. The first one where we fumbled. That's a penalty. You can't do that.
Okay. The first penalty Dan's speaking of was illegal contact by the Indianapolis Colts in the end zone.
No, it wasn't in the end zone. The first one was not in the end zone.
Okay, just short of it? Or I think it was in the end zone, Dan.
No, it was.
Okay, fine. It doesn't matter. It was right there.
The second one was in the end zone.
100%.
Because that got us to the 1 yard line.
The first one was a zigzag route by, I don't know what.
Amari Cooper.
Okay, fine.
It was a complete
He goes in,
penalty.
he goes out, he runs into the Indianapolis defender. They call illegal contact.
You can't grab the dude. You can't put your arm up and grab him.
He didn't impede his line. I mean, what happened? The result of the play.
That's a foul.
Barring the penalty, the result of the play was a strip sack recovery by Indianapolis, which would have ended the game.
But had they not cheated and grabbed him,
I guarantee
they win.
Dan's in a minority. I'm not going to try to bark up.
It's not the minority. If you watch it, that's a foul.
Dude. He ran the in route. He going out to the back of the end zone. The guy's standing there. He runs into him. I think it was a shitty call. The second call, which put Dan's football team on the goal line, was there may have been pass interference, but the ball certainly was nowhere remotely catchable.
Hold on. Was there pass interference?
Yeah.
But there was. So how do we not know that his vertical is not?
I don't care who was the receiver. Do you know? Was it Cooper again?
Peoples-Jones.
I don't care if
He's got
Peoples-Jones
8-foot vertical
is in the circus and he's fucking got stilts on. No fucking chance. The ball almost landed in a fucking stand.
It was a foul. You admitted it. It was a foul.
Yeah.
You said it.
It was uncatchable though.
But how do you know? How are you supposed to judge?
Because the ball almost landed in the
When
stands.
you're getting mugged, how are you supposed to know he can't catch that ball?
Was he on stilts?
It wasn't in the stands.
Dude, it was so
If you look at your vertical where that trajectory was, you could make an attempt to catch that ball.
The NFL doesn't apologize for shit. Jim Irsay said they apologized for both calls. With that being said, Indianapolis -1.5 in this game. By the way, Dan, I'm glad we got this out of the way before the Cleveland game. I'm glad. I really am. Indianapolis has to go the rest of the way with Gardner Minshew. Anthony Richardson has the AC joint, whatever surgery. It's Minshew's team.
Minshew had a good freaking game. The defense had a good game.
Mixed bag. He's good. He's bad. I mean, Jonathan Taylor got more involved.
Stop fumbling the friggin' ball.
They gonna win this game, huh?
Yeah.
Me too.
New Orleans defense sucks.
I don't think that's true. I think the offense sucks. I think the defense is okay.
Sucks. Joe Wood sucks. Their defense sucks. Carr's not good. No.
Look, I have no idea who wins this game.
That team's very disappointing for what they got.
Another really short line. Dan and I are both on the Colts -1.5. Is that right, buddy? Mm-hmm. All right, next game on the board, division battle. New England Patriots travel Down to Miami to play the in-laws football team. Miami 9.5-point favorites. New England 2-5 on the season. Miami has the opposite record of 5-2. We mentioned the Patriots already off of their huge win at home against Buffalo, where they were down or they were up like big. They ended up going down very late and then very resilient with a 2-minute drive from Mac Jones, who played really well, like out of nowhere. They win this football game. I was super happy for them. I mean, it would be really deflating to lead that entire game and then lose it kind of at the buzzer, if you will. But they didn't. I mean, they fought back. They got a touchdown in the back of the end zone, like damn near the last play of the game to Mike Gesicki, the tight end. By the way, it was National Tight End Day. Miami, let's talk about them. They come off of their loss, Sunday night in Philadelphia. Very hyped football game.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Yeah, and here's a knock on the Miami football team.
What time did Tom go to bed? Because I texted you to see if he was still up, but, I mean, that game was not.
That guy's a fucking trooper. He was up till midnight for the Bob Dylan concert on Saturday when he got in town. And I went to bed at halftime. I watched the game in bed. He was either out here or on the couch with my wife, Katie, watching the football game. There's no way in hell he went to bed till midnight again. Like, he was perfect. And he gave me a little parting shot when he left. On Tuesday morning, we left at the same time I went to work. He was catching his flight with his wife. Little parting shot said, Ken, I'll see you in 3 weeks. I can't wait till he comes back. Oliver's looking forward to it too, Tom, I promise. He loves you hanging out on the couch watching Hallmark movies. Anyway, we're not there. I mean, and here's a knock on the Miami football team. They have to show that their offense can perform against a good defense. And this is 2 times where it hasn't really functioned as well as they had hoped against good defenses. They have offensive line health issues. I think it's Armstead is the guy who's been out for the longest time. And then Isaiah Wynn, who is one of their interior linemen, I believe. He went out, and I think he might be out for the season. So they have O-line issues.
Isn't that the dude who played for New England?
Maybe, and I feel like he's a Georgia product too, like collegiate Georgia product as well. But they have some offensive line issues. I think they're a couple weeks away from getting Ramsey back. I mean, they come off their loss at Philadelphia, and there's going to be question marks about this football team. They're big favorites in this game, rightfully so. -9.5 against New England. Is New England going to be that team that beat Buffalo and hang in this game?
They go to Miami and lose.
They get smoked.
They go to Miami and lose traditionally. But 9.5 is big.
Yeah, and I might sway Dan's opinion by this. This is a rematch already of the season. The Miami Dolphins won in Foxborough 24-17. They won by 7 points against the New England Patriots. Are they going to beat them by 10 at home?
You got Tyreek. Didn't practice because of a hip today. No, I don't. I'm taking New England. Miami wins, but not by 9.5.
I'm going to lay it. I think it's fool's gold with New England for 1 week. I don't know if it is or not. Maybe they're competitive. I don't know. I'm going to lay it. It's a big number in National Football. Dan's right. Dan and I have a few different here. But that's good. I mean, last week, literally, Dan, we had 2 games different. And you got both of them wrong. I got both of them fucking wrong, which is super annoying. Here we go. Home game, if you will. The New York Jets play the New York Giants in the Meadowlands.
Holy shit. How is this not Sunday Night Football?
Oh, shit. Because Aaron Rodgers.
2 shitty teams.
Yeah, I'm shocked this isn't.
Jeez.
You're right. Preseason, the Giants having been a playoff team last year, the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, theoretically, obviously they would be like, can we flex the fuck out of this thing?
Yeah.
You know, type of thing.
This still 1 o'clock?
It is. Jets are 3-3. The Giants are 2-5. Jets are 3-point favorites in this football game. By the way, I mean, the Giants are installed as the home team, if you will, but both these teams play in the same stadium. So, Jets are 3-point favorites in this game. Like I said, they're up by. They have a really good defense. We'll see about the offense. It just depends on what happens with 2, which is Zach Wilson. I don't think they're going to make a deal at the trade deadline. I don't. Like, to bring in a more competent quarterback. I don't think it's going to happen. But meanwhile, 3-3, they're in the mix. I mean, they're in the mix.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And the Giants 2-5. The Giants 2-5. Let's talk about them for a second. They come off of their win at home, or win on the. Was it on the road in Washington? No, it was at home. It was at home against Washington. And Tyrod Taylor, journeyman kind of backup quarterback, played well and probably
played well. The defense played freaking well.
They did.
Finally.
And
that's the big question.
I think Tyrod Taylor might be better suited to run this offense than Daniel Jones. Brian Daboll's offense, I mean, he's got a little bit more, well, they both have really good mobility. But Daniel Jones out, I think, another week with this neck injury. Is Tyrod Taylor's team for now.
Well, if he didn't screw it up what was it, Monday night, where he audibled to the run and
they should beat Buffalo. You're right. Dan's referring to the Buffalo game. Jets -3 in this game. I'll take the lead. I like the Jets in this football game.
I like the Jets, too, in this because their defense is proven. New York, the Giants, the defense showed up last week.
But it hadn't showed up
all friggin' year.
Right.
So I don't know.
Maybe some lucky charms with the Giants defense. The Jets defense is a proven commodity to me. So really good game on the board next. I know we're talking a lot. We're talking a lot of football. We're talking a lot of football. I don't know if the intro is probably fairly long, but
still
we're talking
1 o'clock.
100%. We got 3 more games before we can get to the 4 o'clock slate. Very good football game, fun game I think. The Jacksonville Jaguars travel to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jags 3-point favorites on the road in Pittsburgh, as Dan likes to call them. Jags. They are winners on Thursday night in New Orleans, where they had complete control of the game. Then they gave it up. It was tied, and then they won the game at the very end with a late touchdown. They are winners of 4 straight, by the way. I like both sides of the ball with this football team, man.
It's crazy. I don't understand how Pittsburgh is still winning, but they freaking win games.
They was talking about Pittsburgh, so we got done talking about Jacksonville. Pittsburgh comes off a very big win. A win.
Huge.
Yeah, they did not lead the game at all, and they grabbed it in the second half. The offense came up really big late. Tomlin's a great coach. And Dan and I alluded to it earlier. They got a lot of help from the officials. But don't get me wrong. It didn't necessarily change the outcome, necessarily being the key word, because they were up 24-17. But certainly the Rams deserved the ball with no timeouts and some clock left to go down and tie the game. Whether or not they would have tied the game, would have won the game with a 2-point conversion, would have shoved it in overtime, or would have lost the game, I don't know. It didn't completely change the outcome of that football game. Maybe like the Cleveland-Indianapolis game did, but anyway, Pittsburgh comes off a big run on the road.
No, well, fucking Indianapolis is cheaters.
I mean, Pittsburgh's 4-2, Dan.
I know.
Fucking
they're
4-2.
What the hell? They're 4-2. They're a good team.
You just call them a good team?
Yeah, they're better than the Ravens.
They're as good as your team?
No.
All right. Who's going to win this game, Dan?
Pittsburgh. They're at home. Jacksonville coming up to Pittsburgh? No. I'm not picking. No. 3 with the Steelers at home? I'm taking the Steelers.
I'm taking the Jaguars. They're winners of 4 straight. I like both sides of the ball. I think their defense is almost as good as Pittsburgh's, and their offense is considerably better. It's considerably better.
Every week, everybody's offense is better than the Steelers, but somehow they freaking keep winning.
This is a good football team that's coming to town. This is a good fucking football team that's coming to town, Dan. I'm on the Jaguars -3 in this game. Dan's on Pittsburgh. That's just fine. Atlanta, Tennessee is next on the board. The Atlanta Falcons are 2.5-point favorites in Nashville to play the Tennessee Titans. Atlanta's 4-3. They have sole possession of the NFC South right now. Sole possession in first place, -2.5 again. Tennessee Titans come in the game at 2-4. Situation with Atlanta. They come off a big division win in Tampa, where Ritter threw the ball well, but he turned the ball over like right and left. Dan, I know you didn't see that game. Dan was traveling a lot during the slate this week, back from his son's college in Athens, Ohio. It's like a 3-hour trip or so. But anyway, he was traveling a lot during these games. And Ritter, I mean, he threw the ball around the park well, but at the goal line, I think they had 2 touchbacks. I know they had 1, maybe 2, where he fumbled out of bounds at the 1. There's a big question, like a controversy, especially because betting is such a big deal now. Bijan Robinson was up in this game, and he got 1 carry because he was sick. That fucks up bettors. I know it messed up my son Connor, who had Bijan Robinson to either, rush for so many yards or score a touchdown. He got 1 carry in a football game. It was somewhat of a controversy.
Wait, but is he sick? He got the runs?
I don't know what happened with that.
You call him Mudbutt 2?
No, I don't know. I mean, Tennessee.
Mudbutt 2, not also.
There you go. Dan, I got something for you for Tennessee.
Yeah.
They're wearing the Oilers uniforms.
Get the hell out of here.
They are. The oil rig, the whole 9 yards on the helmet. It's nothing. The Oilers helmets, the powder blue, white, red. Fucking, I love those uniforms. And by the way, Tannehill's not playing. They declared.
Yeah, no, he's.
They declared it's Will Levis. Their second-round draft pick is going to play over Malik Willis, who was a third-round pick for them the previous year. It's going to be Will Levis as the quarterback here. They're wearing the uniforms. I like that football team. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans at home. I didn't win this game.
I'm taking the Tennessee Titans as well because it's going to be a heavy dose of my boy running the ball, Derrick Henry.
Is it going to be Derrick Henry's last run in Tennessee?
I don't know, unless
trade deadline comes up. I mentioned it.
We'll take him. Actually, we'll take Atlanta's backup quarterback. Either one of those friggin' guys. Surrey turnoff.
I tell you what, I mean, I don't think Derrick Henry's going to change uniforms at the trade deadline. It's because of his contract. It's still stiff, unless Tennessee was going to eat part of his contract.
His contract's up.
So they would owe
this year.
They would owe like $10 million. I think is what I read. If you pick up Derrick Henry
for this year,
yeah,
I think the Browns can absorb that this year.
Now, if they can afford $230 fucking million with a guy who doesn't want to play, they can do that.
That's why we need that, Derrick Henry.
They're coming up soon. Dan and I are both on the Tennessee Titans.
If he can hand off to Derrick Henry, he looks much better.
One more game before the 4 o'clock slate. It is a division game as well. The Philadelphia Eagles travel to Washington, nation's capital.
Jeez.
Philly 6-1, sparkling record on the season. The Washington Commanders are 3-4. Philly just under a touchdown favorite, -6.5. They come off a big win at home against Miami, where their defense was great. I mean, it was really good. I thought
the other one that's on the chopping block might be Chase Young.
Yeah, I mean, not chopping block, but trade block.
Yeah.
Ain't no chopping block with that fucking guy. But trade block for sure. They got Washington. The Commanders have a decision to make. They have 2 really good pass rushers that are coming up on contracts, and that is Chase Young, who Dan just mentioned, and Montez Sweat. They got to pay one of them, and one of them's probably got to go. Cap reasons, which is part of the strategy of the National Football League, which makes it alluring to me. But anyway, Philadelphia -6.5. We just mentioned they came off a big win against Miami. The defense played really well. They're a steady football team.
They just picked up Bird, or is that how you say his name, from Tennessee?
Bynard, yeah, a safety.
Yeah.
Safety help they got already before kind of we talk about this trade deadline coming up and the flurry of stuff that's going to happen right before the deadline. They jumped the gun a little bit. They got some safety help. Good for them. The Washington Commanders come off a loss in New York where we thought they were going to win the football game. They didn't. They have serious offensive line issues. They have given up a league-leading 40 sacks to Sam Howell, who's their quarterback. And I don't know if partially it's Sam Howell holding the ball too long or what the situation is exactly with that. But, Dan, what do we got? We're gonna lay the nut on Philly -6.5?
Oh, I'm going with Philly on this. Washington's not that good.
I know, but
they're
it scares me, Dan, because Philly's played so much to the level of competition.
They have
before last week,
week,
and they got the best of Miami for sure last week. Is this going to be like turn the page? We turn the page, and we're going to start being the dominating team we are.
They have to dominate this game because it's a division foe.
It's under a touchdown. I agree.
Yeah.
Under a touchdown. I'm laying it. I'm laying it -6.5. Dan, I need a drink. I don't care what the fuck it is.
Really?
Yeah. Sunday, 4 p.m. slate. Here we go, Dan. I can't believe you're leaving set because I was going to leave set and let you introduce this game. A very fun football game. I think it's a very good football game.
Pause it and go take a piss.
There's no pause about it. It is the Cleveland Browns traveling out west to play the Seattle Seahawks. That's perfect. Thank you, sir. Our buddy.
Tell everybody what you drink normally.
Blueberry vodka, Sprite, little splash of Monster, Diet Sprite, Sprite Zero as they call it. With that being said, our buddy Mark the Mechanic is out at this game, right?
Mark the Mechanic is traveling to Seattle as we speak.
Former guest picker on the show. We'll try to get him back on the show. Cleveland 4-2 in this game. Seattle has the exact same record of 4-2. Like I said, this is a good football game. Cleveland comes off of their win. Jeez, I need that drink. Against Indianapolis, the defense. They made huge plays. And they gave up huge plays.
It wasn't
their usual defense.
I agree. I mean, there was maybe 4 minutes at the end of the first half where I'm like, holy shit, you guys are awesome, to how's this dude running and why is Gardner Minshew beating us?
Right.
I mean, it was a tale of two freaking teams because, yeah, you're right. I wanted to be pissed, but we still won the game.
Myles Garrett continues to be unbelievable this season. He's certainly defensive most valuable player in the league, if you ask me right now. I think he's at 7.5 sacks. I mean, he just wreaked havoc in every football game.
7.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles.
They gave up monster plays.
Huge.
Then we're talking about your football team and its local flavor here. I don't know if I mentioned the line. Seattle's -3 in this game. It's probably going to climb. Watson's not going to play it fucking again, Dan.
They've mismanaged the whole Watson thing. They look dumb for trading Josh Dobbs for a 5th-round pick now because we clearly don't have a backup. I mean, they look stupid.
You don't like PJ?
No.
PJ Walker?
We've lucked out the last 2 freaking weeks. I mean, we've totally lucked out.
Dan's right. Dan's right. This team is
said before, sit his ass down. Sit his ass down. But we have nobody to put in. You went Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Okay, if that's your
a lot of hype in preseason, but it didn't look very good when he got his opportunity during the regular season. Dan's right.
So they should have solved the problem 3 weeks ago because, I mean, there's people sitting on the couch like, what's his name that played for the Eagles that won a Super Bowl?
Nick Foles?
Yeah. I think he's available. If he was here 3 weeks ago, do you think he could be playing right now against Seattle with our team, our defense?
Here's what I wish.
Idiots.
I wish Minnesota wouldn't have won that football game on Monday night.
So we're going to trade for Kirk Cousins.
Well, Stefanski was the offensive coordinator in Minnesota when Kirk Cousins was the quarterback. Yeah, you take fucking Deshaun Watson. We'll eat part of the contract because Jimmy Haslam has all kinds of truck stop money and other things, and we'll take Kirk. I mean, that's a fucking crazy change of course. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to happen because the Vikings aren't set on people. They're in the conversation.
I'm not ready to abandon ship on Deshaun. I mean, he's hurt. He can't throw the ball. I mean, that's your throwing shoulder. If you can't throw, you can't throw. But they should have had contingent plans.
I have a question. And I'm not a Browns fan. I'm a Bears fan. Everybody knows that. What's the temperature on Deshaun Watson? Does every Browns fan fucking hate Deshaun Watson?
No, I mean,
you talk to I can't stand that fucking guy.
Fan. I mean, I'm a rational person that likes football.
But you talk football to your buddies. You talk Cleveland Browns football to your buddies, right?
The guy looked really freaking good against Tennessee. Finally, we turned the corner. Okay, he hurt his shoulder, so don't put him in there. They did the same shit with Baker Mayfield when Baker Mayfield was hurt. They wanted to play him, and look what happened. It was a disaster. If the dude's hurt, put him on IR and fucking move ahead.
Right.
Quit being fucking communication nightmare that we got going on. It's the dumbest freaking thing. He was medically cleared, but he didn't want to play. He freaking can't throw the ball. Why would you go out there if you can't throw it?
I don't know. One of my buddies said, I've never seen a more loathed Cleveland Brown player since Kellen Winslow Jr.
That's bullshit. No.
All right, let's recap this game.
Who the hell is that? Another attorney that said that?
Maybe. I'm not gonna mention names.
Loathed.
Seattle's -3 in this game, and this line's
Kellen Winslow wasn't loathed until he started raping people.
Well, and then we had that stupid motorcycle bullshit, and that was on the field.
He was loathed because of that.
I'm done talking about it. Seattle -3 in this game. The line's probably climbing. They come off of their win against Arizona at home. They're better than average on both sides of the football, Dan. They're on offense, defense. The defense is really good.
Gino's turning it over lately. Gino doesn't look like he did last year.
Seattle -3 in this football game. I'll take the lead, and it's not going to be popular. I'm guessing Dan's going the other way. I like Seattle in this game.
No, I was going to go with Seattle because there's no way P.J. Walker wins his 3rd game in a row. There's no freaking way.
They're very lucky to escape Indianapolis. Dan and I are both on Seattle -3. Next game on the 4 o'clock.
The refs are going to make sure the Browns don't win this week.
Jesus, I hope so. It was AFC North week last weekend for the NFL officials. They need to make them full-time employees. That was an absolute fucking disaster. They changed outcomes of games. I'm not going to rail on it.
No. It was there were penalties. Don't commit penalties.
Baltimore minus 8.5.
Can't grab a guy even though the ball's uncatchable because you can't determine if it's catchable or not.
Baltimore minus 8.
You're asking a ref to do two things. Watch for a penalty and determine if a ball is catchable or not. That's not fair to the ref.
More refs, more
freaking foul.
And Jim Irsay, who's a loudmouth owner, said, I think every play should be up for review in the last 2 minutes of a football game. And I don't disagree because he's a loudmouth owner, but I'm like, that's not
for
bad.
What?
That's not a bad fucking idea.
What? I mean, if the ref calls something on the field, are you going to overturn the ref?
If there's a questionable call,
What's he saying?
What's he saying?
So everything's questionable?
The last 2 minutes of a football game. Because we do not want the NFL officials changing outcomes of football games, which in my opinion happened last week.
Get out of here.
Baltimore minus 8.5 traveling desert to play Arizona.
If I grab you, how do we know the ball's uncatchable? Because you can't jump to get it.
That was a different play.
That was the play. You're what the fuck?
That was the first or the second play where
was the second one.
The Browns lucked out. Which one? The first or the second one? Where they were gifted
They were both fouls. You have a predetermined opinion coming on the show, and I don't appreciate it.
Is there a reason why?
Watch the two plays. If
Is there a reason?
If you want to have a conversation, watch the two plays, and you tell me they're not fouls.
Nobody likes
Watch them. We'll pull them up. Fucking YouTube it right now.
I don't know how to do that. By the way, the NFL, nobody likes to apologize, right?
We're hearing that from Jim Irsay.
Do you like to apologize?
We're hearing that from
I don't like
Irsay.
to apologize.
I don't think the NFL
They apologize for both the fucking calls, but we're not on that game. Baltimore minus 8.5, traveling to the desert.
This might be my last show.
Baltimore 5-2 on the season. Arizona's 1-6. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm done.
Baltimore with a dominating home win against the Detroit Lions. I mean, I tell you what, Dave and I both thought the Lions were gonna win this football game.
They look like shit.
I tell you what, they got. I want to say it was 35-0 or something like that. Baltimore is now in the conversation of teams. I mean, this is kind of like a breakout game for the Todd Monken new offense in Baltimore. The defense is really good.
As soon as it gets cold, that team's gonna suck ass.
That's what Dan always says. Arizona's 1-6 on the season, and here's the thing with Arizona. I mean. Not that Josh Dobbs outwars welcome. It's just it's not a good product that they put on the field with Josh Dobbs. Kyler Murray practiced again this week. He's not playing this week, I don't think, but I think he probably plays next week. And Arizona has to find out about this cat. Like, is Kyler Murray going to be our quarterback of the future? Because we're going to have a high draft pick. We have one fucking win on the season. I mean, they need to know about this guy and whether or not they're going to draft a quarterback or not. So he's going to play. This is a big number, Dan. On the road. Huge travel situation. I mean, that's a lot of distance. Minus 8.5. Is this line inflated because of Baltimore's performance last week at home against Detroit?
Arizona. I ain't picking the Rams.
Dan taking the points.
Fuck them.
I'm gonna lay it. I'm gonna lay Baltimore minus 8.5 in this game. I don't like it either. I understand where Dan's coming from. We have another rematch on the board, which seems like just 2 weeks ago. I think it was actually 17 days ago on Thursday night. Is Kansas City traveling in division to play Denver? Kansas City minus 7.5 in this game. They are 6-1 on the season. Denver is now 2-5. Kansas City comes off of their win at home in the 4 o'clock window last Sunday against the Los Angeles Chargers. Game was tied at the half. They won. Their defense continues to play well. Their offense is kind of, if you ask me, I mean, it's a very relative term for them, work in progress. It hasn't, hit on all cylinders if you ask me so far, but they're minus 7.5 in this game. They won this game by 10 points at home 17 days ago. They travel out to Denver. It comes off a big win against the Green Bay Packers at home. Whatever. The defense is playing a little bit better. I don't know. This is not a good football team, but is Kansas City going to go in there and cover the number?
Is Taylor Swift going to be there?
I don't know. I mean, maybe go there, smoke some weeds. I don't know. Maybe. You're right. Travis Kelce plays way better when T. Swift is in the house watching.
I'm taking Kansas City in this one, even though I know I preach they don't cover the spread. Denver just blows to me. They're an awful football team.
I agree. They're going to put some dynamic performance together at some point in time on offense. We still haven't seen it. I'm waiting for it to happen. Maybe it happens this week. I think the best game, Dan and I are both on Kansas City. I think the best game on the board comes up next. It is the Cincinnati Bengals off by traveling out to San Francisco. San Francisco is a 3.5-point favorite. This line has dropped precipitously. That's the right word, right? Because there's a question mark whether or not Brock Purdy's going to play. But let's talk about Cincinnati first.
Why is Brock Purdy not going to play?
Concussion protocol. He entered today. He hasn't played well in the last 2 games. One of them was against your football team. Very good defense. They played Minnesota, and there was a play in the third or fourth quarter. Apparently, he got dinged, and nobody knew. I don't know. Cincinnati comes up bye. That bye can't hurt them one bit because it's all about Joe Burrow and that calf injury. And the healthier he gets, the better this football team looks. It certainly had to help them. We'll see what happens here. San Francisco minus 3.5. Short week for them a little bit. They had to travel. They played Monday night. They lost the football game that all the bettors were chasing. They lost the game outright. I'm not sure what to think of this team. They have 2 straight losses. The offense hasn't performed well. I mean, your football team has a Super Bowl caliber defense. They didn't play well in Cleveland. And then they didn't play well. The offense didn't play well again in Minnesota, which doesn't have the same caliber of defense you have.
No, Cincinnati doesn't either.
There's a question whether or not Brock Purdy plays or Sam Darnold is going to be the starting quarterback for San Francisco.
Okay, so everybody was Brock Purdy. Sam Darnold's the same guy, Mr. Irrelevant. Don't turn the ball over, and you're fine.
Sam Darnold wasn't Mr. Irrelevant.
Well,
he was like the second pick in the fucking draft.
But if you watch Sam Darnold play, I mean,
same guy. Same guy.
He turned into Mr. Irrelevant because of his play.
I believe in Kyle Shanahan a lot. I think he can coach people up. Minus 3.5 in this game.
The plays are there. Is Debo going to play? I don't know.
Their defense got gutted again. They're very good defense. Their defense got gutted a little bit by.
Did you watch the Manning cast?
Yes.
When Bosa was out, they're like, "Oh, run these plays." Blah, 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 blah.
Who were their guests again? Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
that was good. Yeah,
intriguing guy. I mean, listen, I hate Aaron Rodgers, the football player. He's very intriguing to listen to. He's smart. There's no two ways about it. Tiffany Haddish.
I don't know who that is.
Black comedian girl. I love her. Tiffany Haddish, and who was the middle guy? There was another person.
There was a third
I forget what it was. Mondays are tough. Anyway, San Francisco. The line deflated to minus 3.5 in this game.
I'm taking San Francisco. They got to rebound at some point, and they're at home. It's the perfect time to do it.
I don't know if Purdy's going to play. I think the Cincinnati Bengal football team's rounding into form. I think they win the game outright. I'm certainly taking the points in this game. We're on to Sunday Night Football. Flexing probably can't happen soon enough, right, Dan? It is my Chicago football team traveling across the country to play the Los Angeles Chargers. Bears 2-5 on the season. The Chargers are 2-4. Chargers 9-point favorites in this game. The Bears come off of their win at home against Las Vegas.
That's ridiculous. 9.
You think it's ridiculous? Dan loves my Chicago football Bears, but I'm going to talk about them because they're my football team.
Ain't that friggin' good.
Justin Fields is not playing this game because of his dislocated thumb. D2 product out of Shepherd University in West Virginia, Tyson Bagent, played the football game. I love the guy. I was touting him since preseason. Teabags. He played really well, but the thing I can say, the ball came out on time for the Bears. Their defense is playing a lot better. Luke Getsy. I ripped on him for play calling. I ripped on him for clock management last week. There was no clock issues because the Bears ran away. The play calling was it was clock management. The play calling was good this week, I think, from Getsy. I have a problem with Matt.
He sucks. You want him fired anyways.
I have a problem with their head coach, Matt Eberflus.
Fire them both.
You know why?
They suck.
Well, no. Here's the deal. So Tyson Bagent goes in, plays first game, right? D2 player. No other quarterback from the state of West Virginia has ever started a football game, by the way, in the National Football League before Tyson Bagent. He played great. Ball came out on time, made no mistakes. The Bears get the ball back after an onside kick. They have to do 2 victory formation kneel downs. This is why Matt Eberflus is completely fucking clueless. Not as a head coach, as a human fucking being. He brings in Nathan Peterman to take the last 2 kneels. Why did you not let Tyson Bagent get the cheer from the fucking crowd?
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. I wanted to throw my fucking drink at the TV. Like, how clueless? That's not clueless as a football. That's clueless in regards to common sense as a human being. Like, what are we guarding against? Are we guarding against, like, the crowd saying, we want Tyson or something? Are we trying to protect Fields? What are we doing here exactly? Why not? I mean, he's not going to get fucking hurt.
Dude.
Like, really. He brought in the third-string quarterback, well, I guess the backup quarterback in the game, Nathan Peterman, journeyman quarterback, to take the last 2 victory formation snaps.
What a dick.
I know, right? That's what I said, too. Like, I was wildly pissed off.
He should have fucking been fired.
I know.
He shouldn't have been allowed to go in the locker room.
I was texting my hometown buddy, Ronnie. I'm like, what a fucking cock. What a douche. Anyway, Bears are getting 9 points in this game. I believe in the legend of D2 quarterback Tyson Bagent. I think they keep the game close.
After that story you just told me, fuck.
I'm taking the Chargers. What are you doing, Dan?
If I was that D2 quarterback, I'd fucking fire a football right at his fucking face when he ain't looking.
No, why not? Why not? The crowd was all revved up. The Bears hadn't won a football game in over a fucking year home.
It's just baffling.
Mind-boggling, right?
Yeah, because the crowd is into it, and when your starting quarterback takes a knee,
yes,
and they're like, wait, what's going on?
Right.
Why is Peterman in? Because Peterman sucks.
No, yeah, why? I mean, the kid played the entire football game. Why not get him the crowd love, right?
Yeah,
Makes
exactly.
No, I mean, that's not football. That's not football acumen. That's being a human being acumen.
Fired.
I agree.
And the general manager needs fired.
I agree. Like, nobody made a big deal about it.
Needs to be sold.
I made a big deal about it. Sweet Virginia. Anyway, Dan, who are you taking? This show's wildly fucking long.
9. I gotta take the Bears.
Dan loves the football Bears. I'm taking them as well.
Actually, I took the Bears last week. I think I won with them.
You did. The formula is going to be the same. The Bears ran the ball a lot. I mean, if their offensive line can run the ball, they slow the clock against and limit the possessions for the Los Angeles Chargers, who have a very good offense. But who knows? Brandon Staley will fuck something up at the end. The Bears get on the number and win the football game. We're on the Monday Night Football. It's the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Motor City, play the Detroit Lions. Vegas 3-4. We just talked about them. They come off of their loss in Chicago. With that being said, Detroit Lions are 5-3. They come off a blowout loss in Baltimore. But Detroit's big favorites in this game. They're 8.5-point favorites. I mean, the offense for the Vegas Raiders in Chicago was like lifeless. They had Brian Hoyer playing quarterback. They probably should have started the rookie Aiden O'Connell. Probably provides more, at least, opportunity for play. I think Garoppolo may make it back in this game. We don't know that yet.
Team's awful.
Detroit, I mean, they got to burn that tape from that game and just move forward. I mean, they're a good football team. They've been a good football team. I don't know what the hell happened. If they ate too many fucking crab or oyster, what the fuck happened when they went to Baltimore? I don't know if they were sick to their stomach, but they didn't come out to play, and they got punished for it. I think they're still a good football team, and Vegas is not a good football team. Dan, 8.5, big number now.
It's
football
fucking huge. The Raiders just suck.
They do blowout win for the Detroit Lions.
I'm so pissed Michael Mayer is on that team.
It'll change. He's got a long career ahead of him. The quarterback situation will change. Who knows? I'm going to lay the big number, 8.5.
I am too.
A lot of games. The show ran long. I know that. There were no buys this week, and that's part of the reason. Dan and I picked 3 more games this week than we picked last week. We are on the best bets, elephant picks, as we call them on our show. Dan, do you have one in mind?
I got a couple.
Yeah? I'm not going to sway. I'm going to take the New York Jets laying -3 in the home and home game, if you will.
Fuck.
Both teams play in the middle.
That was mine.
Take it. You like them?
Yeah.
They are both on. Damn it. How about that?
It was either Jets or Indy.
2 years ago, we called them paper airplanes.
Yeah.
This week, unanimous elephant pick for Dan and I. It is the New York Jets -3. This game's not away. I mean, I know the Giants are designated as the home team. That doesn't matter one bit. I think they have a way better defense. I think they're going to stifle the Giants. Dan and I are both on the Jets -3 as our best bet on the board. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Possible set change next week. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, that's a quick turnaround for me from Halloween trick or treat to.
It's nothing that says Halloween here.
Well, but change the Christmas is a different story. So
yeah, the tree over there.
Hey, we will see you in November. That's our next show. Thanks for watching.
Put
Thanks for listening.
Halloween stuff on the TV would have been good.
Dan lobbied for that. It didn't happen. It's about the brand, Dan.